Hello there. My name is Iroro Tanshi. I am a bat biologist from Nigeria working to protect the short-tailed roundleaf bat. As a young girl growing up in the oil city of Warri, Nigeria, I hardly saw any wildlife, but my parents, my father is a surveyor, my mom a geographer, made sure to give me a robust view of the natural world. My dad would often capture my imagination about the galaxy, space, the moon and stars. In fact, one of my favorite experiences was of my dad sitting on the veranda and pointing out the stars by their names. For an 8-year-old, that was mind-boggling. Who knew stars had names? But my dad was also a disciplinarian, and I say that because at least 90% of my TV time was spent watching nature documentaries. That was sufficient home education for my dad. You see, some of those nature documentaries that I watched as a child didn't really have black scientists or black African scientists for that matter. But for my dad, a scientist was neither black nor white. They were not male nor female. They were just human beings working to make the world a better place for us all. The impact that had on me as a child was that I wanted to be a scientist. The short-tailed roundleaf bat is a small insect-eating bat that also roosts in caves. That means you find it in caves, sleeping in caves. But it also occurs in naturally small populations, and that predisposes the species to extinction. It becomes vulnerable to extinction. But human activities are also driving the species further into extinction beyond natural causes. The species is threatened by forest fires that spread from farms and cave disturbance, where fruit bat hunters go to caves and disturb those caves because they're collecting bat meat of large-bodied fruit bats for food. Now, those are the two challenges: forest fires and fruit bat hunting. Our approach has been to, first of all, bring the major players to the table: fruit bat hunters and farmers, but also community members, community leaders, and park managers. You see, we supported the establishment of an anti-forest fire law that is implemented by community members themselves. What we're also trying to do is to find additional caves and protect those caves by attaching innovative movement tracking technology to bats, and those bats lead us to the caves. As far as fire goes, we're also producing and creating an innovative early warning system to prevent the outbreak of fires. We've started recording some successes. Specifically, we have curbed the spread of fires when they break out and reduce the outbreaks of fires in the first place. You see, the tropics have got the most biodiversity for any region in the world, and some of those biodiversity are the most also at risk globally. But unfortunately, the tropics also have the fewest number of scientists and conservationists working to protect species in those areas. So my focus on Nigeria and West Africa is part of my ultimate plan for providing a future for nature. Conservation can sometimes thread on the verge of despair, But for the short-tailed roundleaf bat, I have hope, and I'm optimistic that our efforts will pay off, because the forest fires we're trying to combat also destroy local livelihoods. And so what that means is, if you stop forest fires, you also protect local livelihoods. That's a win-win situation for everybody, and that is what really makes me optimistic about this situation. My advice to young nature conservationists around the world is simple: stay curious and interested in the species of plant or animal that you've always wanted to protect. But also start small and start local, addressing those problems around you. But above all, at least in my opinion, be strategic about your network. As a young Nigerian woman, I've been told, oh, your place is not in the forest, you're doing a man's job. But my strategy has always been to be interested in bats and curious and excited about bats that I love so much, really. I've also built a formidable team at our NGO, Small Mammal Conservation Organization. But you see, One of my biggest successes have come from having the world's best mentors, Dr. Tiga Kingston, Dr. Oyomari Peters, and Dr. Paul Bates, amongst other wonderful mentors along the way. I have hope that this generation and the next will fight the biodiversity crisis to the last. I say that because at no time in history have we gathered this much information about, say, human behavior, and specifically using human behavior to understand conservation and drive conservation action. These days, we can now work to modify the behavior of children and adults alike for conservation. That is what gives me hope about the future.